Guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm joined in studio by quite a fairly unique fighter because Luke Dyson, you're one of the most active fighters here in the UK, very much so on the local scene. Look, how are you? How are you doing, first of all?
All good, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, just recovering from the weekend, ready to go again next week. Well, this weekend, and then I'm flying out for a quick holiday next week, so got a week or so off.
Yeah, on Saturday, well, the past weekend, you had two fights in one night. I mean, the venues are literally just right next door to each other. I mean, first of all, credit to you for taking those two bouts on in such a short space of time. But I mean, how do you manage to do it? I mean, I've spoken to fighters before in combat sports, not necessarily just mixed martial arts, but in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and they've had fights in very close within a short time frame, but in the same night. I mean, how do you manage that?
Do you know what? It's always just been the normal for me from the very start, mate. From my first ever fight, I never knew about fighting. I was just a lad. I used to be drinking out on town all the time, and then the head doorman and getting fights in town, and the head doorman of the pub where I worked said to me one day, he said, "Dyson," he said, "you're out every weekend, you're drinking, you're fighting, and you're not gaining, you're spending money, and you're waking up rough." And he said, "You're not gaining nothing." He said, "Come and have a fight." So one day I was just sat on my couch at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I got a phone call. He's one of a good mates, so it's not a bad thing. I know some people frown at it, but he rung me and said, "Do you want a novice boxing match in Birmingham?" So I didn't even watch boxing on the telly. I've never been much of a sport guy, but I just knew it involved turning up, putting some gloves on, and having a scrap. So I thought, yeah, let's go for it. Go get a wage and have a good day. So I jumped in the car with my best mate, flew down to Birmingham, and it turned out when I got there that I was fighting pro MMA co-main event. So yeah, somehow I won it in the first round.
Mhm.
I didn't got a clue. I didn't have a clue what pro MMA was. Didn't have a clue what a co-main event or a main event was. But I won it. I got given a massive trophy and a bit of money, and I went and yeah. Well, since then it's just, and then I got offered another fight straight away. And I think because I've always kind of looked the part, people have always been willing to book me, and then they just kept coming and coming and coming. And obviously, I'm turning up every week, and then people are starting to remember me, so they're booking me. And to be fair, it's become a bit of an addiction. I mean, I have to be fighting every single weekend. I need to be out there doing it. I don't know what it is now. It's took over my life.
So, I mean, how long ago has it been since you kind of, let me say, since working on the doors at clubs, pubs, and similar venues like that, that you kind of, could I say, fell into the sport? Has it been
Well,
what, 5 or 6 years ago?
no. It was 2 years ago on Halloween that I got the phone call to go do that fight. 2 years ago on Halloween, like I said, I was just a kid. I used to drink all the time and party and fight and stuff, and my life was slipping back down a wrong path. And then I just went and had that fight, and then from then, like I said, that was it. Within 2 years, I've had it's 109 fights now. I've done pro and amateur MMA, pro and amateur kickboxing. I've had a couple of Muay Thai fights. I've got a hybrid boxing British title, so that's boxing in 4 ounce gloves. And then I've got three, no, two cruiserweight boxing belts as well. And then obviously yeah. So and I've also done bare knuckle. I didn't get the win, but I fought a very tough opponent for my debut, and I got through the 3 rounds with him. So yeah, I've covered more styles of fighting. To be fair, mate, within that 2 years.
So even the fairly well, yes, the time you spent in the sport you've you've actually attained some big achievements under your belt, some titles as well.
It's only just the start as well, brother. Like obviously the fight this weekend, the first one was a 5 round fight against a lad I know, a good lad, a tough lad from the circuit himself, Dwayne Smith. We had a 5 round war. That was a draw. So obviously we just missed out on that by a couple of points here or there. But like I said, it's just a start. I haven't got a plan for where things are going to go. You always find if you make a plan and you don't achieve it, you're gutted. Whereas I just think I've jumped on the wave and I'll ride the wave and enjoy it as long as I can and gain what I can from it. And it's changed my life completely, to be fair.
I'm really glad and happy to hear that it's kind of removed you from the that world of going out virtually every weekend or week every night basically and just getting drunk and for the sake of it and getting into trouble. I'm glad to hear that you're doing something at least better with your life. Um, so do you have any background in say based on what you told me, you don't have any say background in boxing, much I just training and learning the those particular martial arts.
No, none whatsoever, mate. Do you see, lived on my own basically since I was about 15, 16. And obviously just through doing that, I never really put the time of getting myself into anything like that, a club or anything. I was just out on the streets doing what kids do at that age. So no, I never ever really. And to be fair, mate, I popped into a couple of boxing gyms and I've done a bit of work here and there within the past year and a half, but I've only really been training in a proper gym. And then I mean proper training the past, I'd say since Christmas, just before New Year. Yeah, that's only when I've really started. Because for a long time I was fighting and just purely winging it. I was taking a lot of losses, but taking a lot of and taking a few wins. But I was just doing it because I loved it, and I was getting paid, and I was making these experiences really to other people that they work their whole lives for. So I was kind of blessed, as to be fair, to be given the opportunities because I've been on some amazing shows, and obviously I've got some amazing shows coming up as well. So yeah, like I said, now obviously understanding the situation I'm in, the people that I fight, they aren't a joke. So yeah, obviously I need to take it seriously, put the work in, and which I do now. I do, and to be honest, I work extremely hard for my passion.
I mean, so is that the judo, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and boxing? Just all the elements that come together to make to form mixed martial arts. Is it something that you would like to learn, at least to help improve your skill set when you're in the cage or the ring, competing?
100%. I'm willing to learn in any way, shape, or form, whichever way, shape, or form. Obviously, just at the moment, it just seems to be most of the boxing matches that are coming my way. So obviously, my work's been 100% in boxing, but obviously, if something comes and hybrid boxing as well. But obviously, whichever way it goes, mate, then my work and dedication is the same with anything. If I put my mind to it, I get in there and I do it.
Your bouts are coming up. The first one, which, well, not say first one, but the next one coming up this weekend, Cage Steel
Well,
36.
I've got one on Friday. I've got three this weekend. Now I've got one on Friday, and then I've got Cage Steel with Matty Pepper
Yeah.
on Saturday. Cage Steel. Looking forward to that. Matty's going to be a tough opponent.
Yeah.
He said he's got a left hook coming from a jaw, but that's exactly what I love on a Saturday. Um, and then yeah, I think all goes well. Obviously, my health and safety is a priority. If at any stage I felt like it wasn't plausible or realistic to be going into another fight, I wouldn't do myself any damage like that. But yeah, then we got another a little boxing match over in Manchester. I think that my mates put together.
Blimey.
I believe
That's
in kids here and going there.
that's well, credit to you for because you really do enjoy this and you're very passionate about it. And I know I've
Like I said, it's just an addiction, mate. It's a massive addiction.
well no, well at least look, it's better than what you told me was happening to you before the drinking and the getting to fights. This it's a lot better than that. Um, so the you kind of answered I was gonna ask you about your background, but you kind of you kind of jumped to that already. Um, Can you talk about what you do outside when you're not competing in the cage or the ring? You said you work as a carer for those who have a challenging behavior.
Yeah, so basically, I work for a company. I worked in care now because obviously I spent a bit when I was younger. When I was born, I spent a bit of time in care, and then as I grew older, um, I moved out on my own from my adopted parents because obviously I wasn't the best child. And then I went back into care myself, and it was obviously as I grew older and I started to sort my life out. I look back and I thought, without those couple of people in my life, few key people, I would have been completely and utterly gone and ruined. So I always thought, yeah, care's always been my kind of thing that I've wanted to do to give back. So I've worked in all sorts of care, from residential care for older people to working in residential children's care. Now I'm a support worker for adults with various obviously challenging behaviours, so like autism, and then yeah, so well, other varying, I don't know, yeah, challenging behaviours and other difficulties and whatnot. So we have a day centre and we also have a challenging behaviour department. So I work in between with adults like young adults, so mostly around my age or maybe a bit older. So it's either one-to-one care or day centre care. But I love it. I love it every single day. It's yeah, it's who I am. I thrive in the kind of in that kind of work.
That's something which your backstory, your background includes that you had to go into care and you being adopted. Has that maybe, can I say, added fuel to you, even being wanting to succeed even more, and when it comes to you performing as an athlete, as a professional fighter?
Do you know what my biggest goal is? And this is the God's honest truth, and this is my biggest goal in life. My adopted parents, they don't really understand boxing. They don't really understand any form of combat sports. But the one goal that I do have in life is to make them proud, mate, whichever way that might be. So when at the end of it, they can look back and they can say, "Do you know what? It was worth it." See, a lot of people, um, they have kids, they get pregnant, they have kids. Sometimes they don't have a choice or whatnot. But my parents came out and they chose me, and they chose to give me a life. And I didn't really, I didn't really pay it back as I was growing up, mate. So obviously now I'm older, now I have children myself. It's time to set a good example for the ones that are below me, and also prove to the ones above me, mate, that it was worth it, and I was worth the shot. Do you know what I mean? So
Definitely.
that's it. Like I said with the fighting, I don't really have a goal. Some people want to be the world champion. Some people want to be this. Some people want to be that. I just want to be the best version of myself, mate. Take every opportunity that comes and make my fiance proud, my kids proud, and my parents proud.
Well, speaking of goals, moving forward, would you like to fight if the opportunity was to come around? Would you like to compete in the bigger names, bigger promotions?
Oh, 100%, 100%. That's this is it's what I'm waiting for. I mean, no matter where at the start of my journey, like I said, we can't jump on a bicycle and expect to learn how to ride it straight away, especially if you're not learning how to. So for a long time, I had a lot of fights where I was just a street scrapper and I was fighting train killers. Obviously now I've took that to another level. I take myself seriously, and when I turn up. There isn't anywhere I don't go where I don't make sure they remember me and they want me again, whether that be win or lose. So, like I said, I'm just keep grinding until then big opportunities. I've had a few good opportunities, brilliant, but obviously there's more to come. I want to be fighting abroad. Um, I want to be fighting on telly. Oh yeah, that'd be amazing to get up onto the TV. I'd love to get on to maybe like, well, I've got the opportunities there. I just want to make myself sure myself that I'm ready. I want to get on to BKFC, BYB, fight over in America on BYB. That really interests me. BKFC, obviously, big show. Love to get onto that.
Yes, yeah.
Anything really. Cage Steel this weekend. Cage Steel is a massive show.
Yes,
You know,
yeah. Hmm.
I'm blessed to be on there for a second time. I went on there the first time, fought a lad called Brett Nielsen. That was my debut in hybrid boxing. I got into it was an ex what they call it, a seasoned pit fighter. He's had a good few pit fights, so I made the mistake of brawling with him, caught me a beauty, put me out. But yeah, they've blessed and they've given me an opportunity. Obviously, we've become good mates since. I've got a lot of respect for the fella. But yeah, they give me the opportunity to come now and fight Matty. So time to put on a show, and it's redemption season, isn't it? Nothing against Matty. He's a good lad and he's a tough lad. Like yeah, so but I'm coming to put. I'm coming to show up.
You have fought on some, at least here in the UK, the domestic scene. You have fought on some of the big household names in terms of the promotions. I've seen you fought on FCC, Strike Force, and even the Battle Arena.
Yeah,
But
bro, I thought on. Do you know what I thought once? Extremely stupid of me to have took the fight. Fought on Contenders MMA. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have,
At
yes.
Crystal Palace Football Stadium.
Yes.
I fought main event on that before against a lad called Stephen Hill. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's gone on to Bellator now and he's won like 5 times in a row since fighting me. I was the last minute. They just asked me, and I took the fight like an idiot, not really understanding the gravity of the situation. Yeah, I learned the lesson, but it was a brilliant experience.
No, you live and learn, and unfortunately, you can't have all the wins without the losses. The losses, well, you don't call them a loss, you call them at least it's a lesson. So the next time you will avoid that
Do you know
mistake.
the thing is as well? And I'm just going to say how it is. There's a lot of people out there that have perfect records, and obviously you need to be out there testing yourselves. Do you know, I'd rather lose to 100 absolute animals than have 20, 30 wins of, you know, people that they just weren't, it wasn't a viable fight. Like, obviously, fights, you know, like, I don't know how to say it really, but I think you get the drift I'm going with, don't you?
Of course, definitely.
I've been pushing myself and testing myself, which is what I've always done. Like, no one's ever given me an easy fight. Every time I've been the away fighter, every time in my life, out of 109 fights. But you know what? I managed to what do you call that? Sometimes it's mad sometimes. So like because I'm fighting on shows that regularly. So say me and you are fighting, I'll fight you on the show, and then the next time I'm on the show, you and all your mates that were last time when you're fighting again, and all your mates are there again, and they look at me and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's that guy," and you know they're like, "Oh yeah, cheering for me." And you know now I go to away shows, and sometimes bro, they feel like home shows, and I'm hours away from my house. You know.
Mhm. But given that you have fought on some big names, which is the one local promoter that would, as in, that interests you the most? So you think, as in, if you fought with them before, if you haven't, that they're the one that you do like how they run their show, how they treated you as a fighter, how the atmosphere was, which is the one that that you like the most, or that you'd like to compete in?
Oh, which, well, do you know what? The first part of that, I can't really answer it because you know what? Obviously, I've built so many brilliant relationships with promoters and across the country, and I genuinely couldn't. There's so many different. You can go to a small social club, and the atmosphere can be electric, and you can have a blast. And then you can go to these massive events with the lights and the glitz and the glamour. They can be just as good in their different way. So like I can't really pick a, a, one that I prefer out of all of them. I mean, each one in their own right is amazing. But like where I want to go, I want to go onto the big screen. I want to get well, the BKFC, BYB. I think this is where all the eyes are now out of all the combat sports. I mean, obviously, what Conor McGregor and Khabib and a lot of others did for MMA was amazing. Tyson Fury and what others have done for boxing, and obviously people before that, you know, Mike Tyson, people well before. Obviously, I'm not really a sports fan, so I don't know the ins and outs, but these are the names I'm bringing. And then obviously you've got your one championships and your kickboxing, your Muay Thais. But I think all the eyes are going towards bare knuckle now, and I think that's where I think with my power and my explosiveness, and yeah, I think I can. I think I can make a good seat. I think I can make a good stamp on the BKB scene. I just need to get hold of my balls and do it. I keep giving myself the excuse you need to know when you're ready, but you're never going to be ready, and unless you just do it.
Bare knuckle boxing, it's very entertaining, also very messy, very bloody. I mean, I've seen the way the fighters look, both males and some of the females, how they look after the fight. Their face look completely different, like it's been redesigned, like just swelling all over the place. I mean,
Discombobulated.
yes, I mean that doesn't put you off. I mean, it's, for a fight fan, it's very entertaining, but for the fighters who have to be on the receiving end of all the abuse, because of course you're going to be fighting, that doesn't
Mm.
put you off at all.
Do you know what? You can't go swimming and cry when you get wet, can you, bro? Do you
No,
know
no,
too
of
many
course.
people give a too many people are scared of taking a loss. Do you know, I did a bare knuckle before, mate. My debut bare knuckle was on Bad to the Bone, another brilliant show run by Stefan Hanks. Um, for my debut, I fought an Italian and European champion. His name's Giovanni Carpentiere, pro boxer. I think he's had like 26 pro boxing fights. He fights. He's come from Rome. He fights in the gladiator pits. If
Right. Okay.
the Florentine. So I did, like I said, I did 3 rounds with him, and I think, like obviously the gravity of the city, I felt his fist come past my face, and I felt the velocity, and it woke me up to what I was actually in. But like I said, I got through 3 rounds with the lad, and he's an absolute warrior. I mean, if anyone goes and checks him out, mate, and watches his last Bad to the Bone appearance, flip, you want to talk about faces, mate? Wow, that was the most brutal, honestly. Check him
Mm.
out, Giovanni Carpentieri, the most brutal BKB fight I have ever watched in my life. It was absolute, and he never stopped. They never stopped until the end bell. His face, mate, wow. But yeah, like I think with the bare knuckle, you get cut a lot easier. The blood
Yes.
splat, but with the boxing gloves, like and other gloves, like your MMA gloves, especially pro MMA gloves, they'll snap your chin. You know what I mean? They'll stove your head clean in. Boxing gloves are only designed. People think that they're there to protect your head. They're not. They're only there to protect your hands, to protect your wrist. You know. So I think in the short term, the cuts, the bruises, the scars, yeah, the bare knuckle. But in the long run, maybe with the MMA gloves and the boxing gloves, I think it's a lot more internal.
Mm. Now, on social media and just, well, not just social media, but when I look at past fights everywhere, when you see some of the knockouts, the TKOs, the drops, I'm just reminded every single time that this sport, combat sports as a whole anyway, is really not, it's not a game. It's not for the
100%.
faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted at all.
It's not a game
Yeah.
either. You can't take so I mean what's my language like on here? Have I got
No,
to be
say what you like. Say what you like.
you can't get the piss move. You can't go in there with the fucking limp balls thinking I've done it, I've been there, I've learnt my lessons and I've been embarrassed enough. To be fair, the fucking knockouts, well, you ain't got a clue. You ain't got a clue. You get knocked out, you ain't got a clue. You wake the fuck up, it doesn't really matter, it's over.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It's done. What like yeah, I mean, I've had a few nasty injuries. I think kicking FCC, I fought Tez Mitchell from Hamley Leeds, another lovely lad, but fucking hell, an absolute animal. Yeah, I fucking kicked him stupidly, idiot. Don't know why I decided to do it. Checked me with his knee, snapped my foot instantly, right in the middle of the cage. Yeah, yeah. So stuff like that. You see, like I find like bare knuckle, all that excites me. The Muay Thai and the kickboxing and it's with the MMA kicks and that, they're the worst kinds for me, bro. That don't I don't like that more than the knockouts and the broken faces. I don't mind a good black eye.
I'm sorry. This person actually, they actually snapped your foot, as in
Yeah,
injured.
he checked my so obviously I can't really do it because he's an absolute animal and I'm not.
Yeah.
He checked that I've thrown the kick and he checked it in his knee and my foot's impacted there. My foot just went. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean it was I think it was what was the tendons and or the metatarsals or something. I don't know what it was, but something went snap. The doctor, when I went to the hospital hours later, because like an idiot, I stayed and watched the fight as well, all the fights hobbling around. So I got dropped off by my mate Coffee at the hospital later, and I spent a good while in a big boot. But we learn his lesson. Don't kick people in the knee again, Luke.
Um, you know, you seem like someone who a lot it'll be hard to dislike, or it'll be hard for your opponent to dislike you. Is that something that you kind of just naturally subconsciously developed over the fights over the time, or is this something that you just thought you don't hate anyone, but you know why you're here in the cage or the ring? You're here to go home with the win. You're here to fight. You both know why you're there, but there's no animosity between you.
Do you know what it is, bro? At the end of the day, if I need to hurt someone, you've got to do something to me, bro. I have these people that just you're not opponents to me. Like to me, to them they train 8 months, 9 months, or however long they train for to fight me. But to me, honestly, bro, this is no disrespect to any of my opponents. I have that many. I don't think about them until the day of my thing. And then when I'm fighting you, I'm already going to hit you as hard as I can. I'm already here to take your fucking head off. I don't need to dislike you or disrespect you to do that. And it gets me nowhere. And you know what? I work on my reputation. I'm a humble guy, you know, win or lose. As long as I'm treated fairly and respectfully, bro, I will get up, I will shake your hand, I will give you a hug, I'll say, well done, and I'll walk out there. Do you know? And obviously, at the same time, as a promoter, bro, look at it from this point of view. If you're paying a certain amount of money, because I fight for money, bro, that's the way it works. If you're hitting me, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid. Simple as. Do you know? Some people don't do that, but you know, some people climb mountains, some people don't. But like obviously, if you're paying me a wage and I'm turning up and I'm acting like a dickhead and I'm in your and 9 times out of 10 they're paying me to fight someone from their gym, so I'm in your guy's face and I think I'm the dog's bollocks and then I get knocked out in the ring and then everyone's like, oh, well he's just a fucking knobhead. But if I walk in there, touch your gloves and say, yeah, let's have some fun, which I do every time I touch gloves. So I say to him, I say, let's have some fun. And that's it. We get to it, bro. Yeah, you're already coming to win. I'm already coming to win. So let's have some fun with it, innit?
Um, your next bout coming up, at least for the one that I am certain of, Cage Steel 36. You
Yeah.
said your opponent, Matt Pepper, is a tough guy, but how do you see the fight going? What's your game plan? What are you going to do on the offensive when you're in the cage, when you're in there in the cage with him?
I'm an aggressive. He's an aggressive man, but at the same time, I'm an aggressive. I can be an aggressive man. I used to be extremely aggressive in my fighting style, because I had no skill and just attack like a pit bull off the leash. You know, the bell would go ding ding, boom, full speed ahead, all or nothing. If it fucking worked, it worked. If it fucking didn't, it hurt. Yeah. But now it's different than that. I can move, I can duck. So I'm gonna see how he's gonna come out at me. If he comes out at me as aggressive as he is, he's gonna have to try hit me because I'll be moving, and I'll be looking for my perfect shot. If not, not every punch has to be a knockout. We can work with it and we can go for the 3 rounds and get on the points. If the opportunity arises for me to put him down, then I'll be putting him down. But at the same time, I'm very aware of who he is and what he's capable of. So I'll be protecting myself at the same time.
You know,
But then
oh,
again, like I said, I'm flying off on Tuesday, so I wouldn't mind a lovely black eye to go to Spain with. But Matty, if you watch this, you can give it one if you want, mate.
look, I'm gonna have to get on the show soon after this because there's still lots of stuff I want to ask you, but the timer for Zoom just has just come on, so the limit has started counting down. But definitely we have to do another episode.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
last but last but by no means least, any shout outs you want to give to sponsors, family, and friends?
Yeah, all my sponsors. Let me try and remember them. I've got a brain. I get whacked that much. My memory's gone. Gazpool, obviously, garden and tree. And this is in no particular order. Gazpool, garden and tree services. If anyone needs trimmy bush mush, get in touch with Gaz. Got levers, windows and doors. Do you know Jeffrey? He'll come anywhere over the UK if needs be. If the pricing's right, best prices, best quality of service. TD Gams, our last. If you don't know, have a look. Check them out on my link. Smoke Up Plymouth. Check them out. Don't need to say anything about them. 10 packs, same as them. Don't need to check them out. Raymondo Mondo Gecko Photography for all your fight photography needs, guys. Please do check him out. Obviously, he's photographed. He's done me a few times at Rock Solid Promotions, which is an immense show. But yeah, I know he's been on. He's done a bit for Frank Warren and whatnot. Just trying to remember. Louis, handmade by Esme, you know, my best mate. He always supports me. Louis Churchward's been with me from my first ever fight. It's his daughter's custom handmade jewellery thing. Obviously, that's just him showing support for me, so I'll show him the support and the love back. Remember, just name guys. Remember the small club. GD Gams. I don't want to miss anyone out, man. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, if I've missed Raymundo, people, Gospel, TD Gams. Oh, my mind's gone blank, so really I'm sorry if I missed anyone out.
That's okay. That's
Really
right.
am. And yeah, obviously my coach, my fiance, who's always in my corner every single weekend, Hannah. She's with me every single weekend. Obviously, win or lose, she never fails. And she got her first win this weekend as well. So go on, Hannah, first round stoppage, towel got thrown in. So I was over the moon for her. Yeah, so yeah.
Congratulations to her. And I think, is she also like, let me say, your agent or so? 'Cause I've seen your bio on Instagram that if anyone wants to contact you for a fight or something or interview, they would have to contact her to schedule like an appointment.
Well, do you know what it is? Like this sponsorship thing here is an example. All these people that sponsor me, I love them to bits. And even in my head, I can't think of them off the top of my head. She's the brains. I just
Wow.
get punched. And you know what? My phone's mental. Like obviously, my phone goes absolutely nuts. Thousands of notifications a day. Sometimes it's absolutely mental, so it's hard to keep on top of everything, and I miss a lot of people out. So this is obviously a message as well. I ain't ignorant, I ain't ignoring none of yous, but I just don't see it, or I look at it and I think, oh yeah, I'll reply to that in a minute, and then
You might
5 hours
forget.
have gone. 5 hours have gone by, and I've got another 600 messages. Just give me okay. Hannah, Hannah, Hannah. Oh no, she's not here. Just gonna check if I missed anyone, but sorry, I feel really bad if I missed any of my sponsors. Honest to God, I'm really sorry. It's just been a long day, and yeah, but I appreciate all your support and all your love. Thank you very much, guys.
Uh, guys, Luke, thank you for coming on the show. Guys, if you did listen to the whole episode or watch the whole episode on here on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Helps the platform grow. And you can also catch the audio version on Spotify, iTunes, and on Google Podcasts, including SoundCloud. And on Spotify, don't forget to please leave a rating as well, as it also helps the platform grow even further. Luke, thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you stepping into the cage at Cage Steel 36 this coming Saturday after the bout you have on Friday, which I miss because you're fighting like crazy all the time, mate. Sorry, just sometimes I miss it. It's not a social feed, or maybe I've missed it and it is in the social feed. But once again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate your time as well, man. You've been a blessing, man. You're a legend. Thank you.
Take care.
Bless up, man. Respect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just a quick shout out to my sponsors and a quick thank you. In no particular order, we've got obviously Halifax's leading gym, Workout Warehouse. Guys, if you're in Halifax and you're not training down at Workout Warehouse, then there's something wrong. Obviously, we've got Win Richards supplements as well. If you come down to Workout Warehouse, all your natural supplements that you need, get in touch and Winnie can hook you up. I've got levers, windows and doors. To be quite honest, it'll cover the whole country. It speaks for itself. Windows and doors, the best price and the best quality of work, guaranteed. Gas pool, garden and tree services. Obviously, if you need someone to sort out your gardens and trim your bushes and cut your trees down, Get in touch with guys who's a top lad. We've got Meltdown, Bradford, Shamas. Massive thank you to you too, mate. If you're in Bradford and you fancy a banging burger, get yourself across to Meltdown. We've got Lee Carner, LNC Joinery. If you need any like media walls, he does all sorts, everything you can think of, and his work is absolutely 10/10. Check out his page, LNC Joinery. We've got Adam Gell at Grip Sock Grimsby. Your guys, your Nike socks, your fight socks. He's even brought out some boxing gloves. He's even got his own boxing gloves now, which look absolutely unreal. So guys, check out. He'll deliver to you. Smoke Hub Plymouth. All your smoking needs and accessories. Let me get in touch with them. Follow the page. If you're around Plymouth, get down to the shop. If not, then obviously postage is not a problem. 10 packs of Mr. Terps. Yep, obviously if you want to get in touch with them guys, let me know. Also Ray Patterson at Mondo Gecko Photography. For all your fight photography needs, guys, check him out. Any photography needs really, but yeah, he excels at his fight photography. He's worked with me on a few bits at Rock Solid and whatnot, and a few other big shows and massive names. And regardless of that, lovely bloke, and his work is 10 out of 10. And last but not least, my best mate Louise, little daughter Esme's handmade jewellery business. Guys, please go follow the page. Show some love, show some support, and place an order. Thank you very much.